Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a month since I uploaded. Also, I will be explaining why this is not a Wolverine review later on at the end of this video, but I wanted to review this figure because Thunderbolts is 2 weeks away from being released, which by the time I'm filming this, it's Wednesday. So yeah, I wanted to film the John Walker Captain America figure from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And this figure specifically is that it's from that one scene in the second episode where he's signing autographs and stuff, and you can see this figure on someone's hands. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, here's the box. As you guys can see, John Walker right there on the unmasked face, the figure, the shield right there. Captain America, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier right there, the shield, everything. Very patronized the box. John Walker right there, John Walker back here, John Walker over here, just larger picture. Marvel Legends right there, the bottom not much, the top just the stars of America. And yeah, all right, so let's get to unboxing this figure. And so here's the figure itself out of the box with the accessories, 2 accessories. So let me just lower down the phone right there. There you go. Oh, look at that little stain. So yeah, let's take a close look at the accessories. Let's take a close look at the head sculpt, the John Walker head sculpt. It looks pretty accurate to how what's his name, Wyatt Russell, and that's his name, yeah, the actor's name who portrays John Walker. It's a pretty good likeness to the actor. The hair piece, you can see it's sticking out right there. It's not fully tucked in, but yeah. Overall, the little paint, the cell shading of, like, I guess brownish, I don't know what color that is. I'm very dumb right now, but yeah, pretty accurate head sculpt. And he also comes with a shield, which has a little stain right up there, not even a stain but paint chipping of red, and a little marbling of, wow, plastic. Yeah, more marbling, as you guys can see, but overall nice shield. Wow, bro, wow. And it comes with this like little peg, which you can port into the figure back right there. There's like a little hole, and then you just like put it in, and it stays on his back like that. Hold on, let me just back this up. You guys can see it stays on his back. But I don't like this shield, not just because of like the paint, it's so dull looking, but because of the technique of the way you have to put the shield. Basically, you have to like peg it in there, force it in there. But I've seen other people with their copies of John Walker. This piece has been broken by other people because of how it doesn't really fit in, and you have to like use force to put it in there. Like, I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So that's all the accessories. Pretty good looking shield, but still disappointing, dull looking, and a bunch of paint chipping with marbling. Also the peg, the way you have to put it in. But yeah, that'll be all. So let's take a close look at the figure. And here's the figure itself. So now let's take a close look at the figure. So let me just put this right up there, as you guys can see. Look at that head sculpt. That looks pretty good. That's a pretty good Wade Russell look right there. It's a pretty good figure. I love the paint. I love the silver paint on his helmet. Has the A logo right there. The buckle underneath for his chin, the little red. The back of his head, pretty sculpted. I don't think it's textured. Yeah, no, it's not textured. But the bottom part, no, not even. There's the back of his neck right there, showing a lot of skin. Also, you get, like I said, he comes with an extra head sculpt, so you can put it into the figure. Gotta use a little bit of force. Not gonna lie, it looks a little too small, but it's pretty good for the body. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, pretty good. So let me just switch this back, put the other one right here. There you go. So now looking at his chest right there, pretty good, pretty accurate to the show, although it's missing a little bit of red right there. Overall, pretty good figure with a lot of sculpted details. Even the belt going on his back right there. The A, it has a little bit of red. Don't like that. It's barely visible, but wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, never mind, it's visible. Okay, that's a problem. Like if it didn't have a problem right now. But yeah, overall the belt is right there. I think I could rearrange the belt. I don't think so. Yeah, I could. A little bit. Never mind. But yeah, there's the front of the figure for the belt, and then the legs right there. He comes with a gun holster, but the gun is attached. That's a disappointment, because he also comes with this hand that I forgot to point out. It's a gun holding trigger hand. Yeah, and one fist. That's all he comes with. So yeah, the legs are looking pretty good. The back of the legs, pretty good sculpted. Good details on it. Overall, pretty good figure. There's the bottom of the shoes right there. Pretty good figure, and the articulation is the part that I love. So yeah, let's get into it, and yeah, I'm gonna showcase the articulation. So getting into the articulation, I can't talk right now. I'm a little too tired, but getting into the articulation, he's on a ball joint, so he can look up this far, down this far, and you can tilt his head like that, side to side. You can do a full 360. The arms can go all around, full 360. They can go up this far, as you guys can see, down that far, excuse me, sorry. And you also get a bicep cut, so you can rotate it and do a full 360 if you want to. I'm not gonna showcase it, but yeah. Double jointed elbows, they're pinless, so yeah, pretty good range for double jointed elbows. And you get wrist rotation right there. You can rotate it, and it can go forward this far, that far, yeah, back that far. I'm surprised because there's like a little panel right here, but yeah, that's how far it goes. And then it can go forward. It has a ab crunch, so it can go forward that far, back that far. Wow, that's a lot for the back, but not much for the front. That's crazy. And okay, moving on to the legs, it can kick this far forward, as you guys can see, and back not much, like that. And then you can also split the legs like that, as you guys can see. And then we got a thigh cut right there. You can rotate that. Simple. Double jointed knees right there. They're also pinless. I forgot to point that out, but yeah, not that far, not bad, I'd say. And he has a boot rotation, as you guys can see right there. Boot rotation. You got not feet articulation, but your typical ankle pivot right there. They can go forward that far, which is pretty good. Back that far, not bad. And yeah, that's all for the articulation. Oh, hold on, let me do it with the other head sculpt. I think they're the same range. I don't think so, but hold on, let me just put that in there. There you go. Look up. Ooh, a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more for the John Walker. Cannot look down though. Okay, yeah. So honestly, the only difference is that he can look more up, as you guys can see. Or maybe they're the same. I can't tell. But yeah, that's all for the articulation. Now let's get into a couple of comparisons. And here he is with my first comparison. Captain America stealth suit from the Infinity Saga and from the movie Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, that's how he compares to each other. Looks like John Walker's is taller. So yeah, John Walker's is taller than the figure Steve Rogers, even though this is just a reuse from the previous Marvel Legend that came out like almost 11 years ago from the movie line. So yeah, it was still a Marvel Legends, but it came out during the time when the film was about to come out. So yeah, there's the comparison. So let me just move on to the next one. Here he is next to my Marvel Legends Steve Rogers from Endgame, which came in a 2-pack with Sam Wilson, Captain America Sam Wilson. So yeah, here he is. That's how he compares. And yeah, he's smaller than him. I don't think that's the case in real life, but yeah, I don't know. We never seen them together side by side because, you know, the mantle was passed to Sam Wilson, but then Sam Wilson gave up the shield, and then the shield was passed on to John Walker's. But I'm not gonna lie, he's actually rising up to be one of my favorite Captain Americas, not topping Steve or Falcon, but yeah, he's right there. So yeah, that's how he compares from my Captain America. Now let's move on to the next one. And so here he is with Falcon, which is Captain America. And as you guys can see, that's how he compares with them. Also, I guess he's a little smaller than him. You can't tell by the phone, but hold on. a little bit, by a little bit, by a little bit. Yeah, by a little bit. I just spammed that word like what 4 times. Yeah. So yeah, that's how he compares with him. Also, this is a better shield than this one right here. So yeah, you'll see that I'm gonna have a little strategy for both of the shields. Also, this one doesn't have to like be put on a little hole. It comes with the straps, unlike this one. So yeah, also this one has paint on the inside, which I don't think none of the shields have. So yeah, that's how he scales with them. Now let's move on to the next comparison. And for my last comparison, here he is with Bucky Barnes, or the Winter Soldier, from the Marvel Legends Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a re-release from also 11 years ago, almost 11 years ago, from the Captain America and the Winter Soldier Marvel Legends wave. Yeah, he's just a re-release with better head sculpts and a little bit of a better paint. So yeah, that's how he stacks up with him, and I can't wait to see both of these fools in Thunderbolts, and I've heard that it's gonna be a great time over there. Oh my god, the reviews. I'll explain it later. So yeah, let's move on to my final thoughts. That's it for comparisons though. Yeah, so let's move on to my final thoughts. And so for my final thoughts of this figure, it's a pretty great figure. I'm not gonna say that he's perfect. I'm not gonna say he's like all amazing. There's some complaints, like the shield, a couple of paint issues, limited articulation on the double jointed knees, and the torso not going too far on the front. But yeah, overall he's an amazing figure. He's still pretty poseable and stuff, but man, they're gonna re-release this figure as a repaint for the Thunderbolts Marvel Legends wave, so I cannot wait to get that one. But the issue that I already have with that one is that the shield, they're doing what I just said that I don't like about this. The shield, like, he has that peg, like that little thing, that little connection. I don't like that. I do like the paint on the shield, but I don't like how it's just the same. But yeah, overall, I'd say you can pick this up. Also, let me explain a couple of things. One, I haven't gotten my Wolverine figure. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm gonna have to ask for a refund, because I found the S.A. Triggers Wolverine on another store. They have 2 of them. They still have them over there. So hopefully I can ask for a refund and they can give it to me so I can buy it on the other store. Also, I'm sorry for the background change. I didn't want to like go on my shelf, take all my figures out, and then, you know, start filming over there, and it'll take me a long time to put them all back. So yeah, this is not my new background. This is just for this video. I'm gonna do the other videos in my room. This is my mom's living room. So yeah, I'm just a little bored, and I kind of wanted to do this to honor Thunderbolts, because it'll be coming out in 2 weeks. And yeah, honestly, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I know it's been a whole month since I've uploaded, but hopefully I can get another review in. I'll probably, it depends on what I get. Right now it's April, so not many things are gonna arrive around this month. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can review the Transformers Studio Series, Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime, hopefully if he arrives at GameStop. But I'm planning, now this is one I'm planning to do. I'm planning to review the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man. He's supposedly gonna arrive on May for one of my favorite stores called Truly Urban. Hopefully he arrives in May, and if he does, I will review him immediately. I know there have been other reviews. Also, I promised to do a comparison between Marvel Legends, S.A. Trigger Arts, and ZD Toys for Deadpool. I will be making that. I don't know when I'll release it, but I will be making that this month. So yeah, that'll be all. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll leave you guys with some photos that I took from John Walker. So yeah, take care guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.